Hello, everybody. Welcome to LoanOfficerPodcast.com. Today, we are blessed with a very special guest. We have Chirag Rajhadiya. Chirag, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Right on. So all of our wonderful listeners, tell us, how long have you been in the mortgage industry?
Be 6 years now.
That's fantastic. And so were recently named by Scotsman's Guide in the top producer list. Do you mind sharing what your volumes look like?
Is 200 plus million.
That's amazing. That's awesome. To be 6 years in the business and doing that kind of volume, that's incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And so, where does the majority of your business come from? We start the show with that. It's the same question for every guest that we have on. Like, how did you do it?
So I'll tell you, it's all organic, word of mouth, referral only. We do some social media, kind of like have a local magazine. We advertise there, but it's more so for branding. It's mainly organic. Typically, the first thing we hear or I hear when someone calls like, "Hey, Chirag, I got your reference from so and so," past client. So that's been blessed. Like we spend a lot of time. Educating our clients, explaining them the final closing disclosure, going to their closing, their housewarming after, like, so just kind of engaging, from the grassroots up. That's kind of basically how we get, or I get most of my business from.
That is amazing. And so you'll actually go to like after closing, you'll go to the like a housewarming party?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I'll go
amazing.
there. Yeah, just to show up. I don't take any marketing materials, no business card, nothing. I just, casually go there, just engage with other people. Because guess what? If someone's buying a house, they're inviting other people that are along the same walk, like path as they are. So most often I'll walk away with like three or four people asking my numbers, like, "Hey, I bought the house last year, like I'm looking to refi." Oh yeah, I'm just getting under contract. Because obviously if someone bought it, their friend bought it, they're kind of like, along the same timeline. So a lot of engagement. And plus, if you go to your clients housewarming, they'll always remember you, right? Like you always talk on the phone, there's no like a face to the name. uh, Guess what? They're never gonna call anybody. I don't think they even have any other loan officer's number saved in their phone. So
That's
you know,
right.
they're obviously gonna refi or maybe buy another investment home or whatnot. So definitely helps put that face to the name. They see me, I meet with them, and it's all local, right? The most I've driven is like 2.5 hours for a housewarming one way.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, it was a Saturday. I was like, it's not so busy. And the client's like, "Hey, I saw this invite." I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do my best. I'll work around my kid's schedule and all." And I went there. They were super happy. They're like, "We can't believe you drove this far. Stayed about half hours. Like, I gotta go back." But that really, helps connect that to the client at that level where they're not, the next time they call me, they're not even like, "Hey, Chirag, I think the rates are better. What do you need from me? Just do your
Yep.
best." No questions about, "Hey, what's the rate?" or "Can you match this rate?" Whatnot. Like, just build that trust.
Relationship. Relationship. That is incredible. So beyond like creating that really deep relationship with the client, are you doing database marketing? Do you have a newsletter that goes out? Like, how do you keep in touch with that many people?
So yes, I do have like a social media more so. I have my WhatsApp that I put my status updates, just the generic things like, "Hey, what's DTI? Like, what do you do?" And
Yep.
then we've had some other, like I obviously have a WhatsApp group with thousands of my past clients that I'll post from time to time, like, "Hey, housing market news, blah blah whatever." If I got an award, like I'll put it there, and all these recognitions definitely help brand. um, and then with our partnership with UWM, we had a chance to go on their broker, podcast, their daily, weekly. news thing we have. So I went there on there. I even went to the New York Stock Exchange twice actually to ring the closing bell. Uh,
Really?
Mortgage Brokers Day. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was in 2022 and 24. I was there twice in July. So that was, take pictures like, hey, great to be here celebrating Mortgage Brokers Day. We're ringing the closing bell, and it's just an awesome experience, good marketing. Like, people see you kind of like, hey, this guy's successful, is doing the right thing, I want to work with him, branding, and also connect with other LOs, right, at the same time. Like, initially it was like, hey, how much can I do, right? Then we're like, okay, well, you can only do so much, you got 24 hours. How about build your team and focus and expand into other states? So that's kind of got a lot of people to work on and work with us when they see that we've done so much thing. And in fact, last year we had a chance, we actually let one of our other high producing yellow go to that stock exchange. So he was like super amazed. He's like, can't believe you guys made this happen. And so he's like, earned it. Obviously he's done good volume, but that's kind of how we
So you mentioned a strategy in there that is just second nature to you, but that I
Mhm.
think many people in the mortgage industry haven't even clued in on yet. So WhatsApp group. So I live remotely for a good portion of the year, and so I know WhatsApp is basically the communication channel outside of the
Yeah.
United States of America. Um, but a lot of people don't understand how big WhatsApp is
Yeah.
or even what it is. So, can you give us just like a quick little breakdown of what that WhatsApp group is, how you get people in it, and how you use it to generate business?
Yeah. So basically, I started out about 2 years ago. Just casually started out. When the rates kind of start getting better, people reached out and say, "Hey, what's the rate?" So I was like, rather than answering like all these calls with the same thing, why don't I just create a group? And people actually started creating groups. Hey, I have a neighborhood. We got about five, friends who wants to refi. How about we just create a group, add you in there, and then you can answer some generic questions, so you're not getting the same questions again. I'm like, that's a great idea. So I got the WhatsApp group. Say, hey, and then I started sharing with my newer clients and some of the past clients that reached out and say, hey, if you want updates, regular updates, I'm gonna share these kind of sort of like a podcast thing, where I'm not more so marketing, just informative. Jumbo limit, conventional limits went up. FHFA directors changing. Like, this is what's coming up. Like, how's the current political or whatever war situation is gonna affect you, in terms of your house value, your interest rates, should you invest or not. So, and then you have that status option. So I started updating the status. I got a guy who makes these flyers or little short 10-15 second videos. So I'll put it as a status, and then I'll constantly put those in. I remember this one day we had this Fed meeting, I believe it was September 24. I just happened to do a outreach. So that was the other thing. Like, I had about 21 people from one neighborhood do a refinance with me. So I was like, you know what? I just want to come in, bring you guys some pizza and just come meet with you, just network with you, right? I just want to come and personally thank you all, because you know, so I was there and we got the big news like, hey, rates went down even further. So I put it in there. Within 2 minutes, I had six. I just posted my application link there. It's like, hey, rates are great. This is it. Like, don't even bother calling me. Just go and fill out this application. I'll try and get to as many as I can. I Within 2 minutes, I had 57 applications come in.
57?
Yes, 57 people like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I was like bombarded with emails, like, so that was, I think, the biggest thing. And then I started adding people. And it's a good thing. You could always even put your WhatsApp group link
Hmm.
for, I don't want just anybody to join in. So I'll kind of filter and just kind of say, hey, who'd you get the reference from?
Yeah.
And then I posted links, say, hey, if you know anybody who's really into this and would benefit from joining this group. Here's the link you can share, and then I'll accept their invite.
That is incredible. So
Yeah.
I have an AI agent that's built inside our CRM, and what we use WhatsApp groups for is for first-time home buyers asking questions. So you can
Okay.
add them into the WhatsApp group and they ask questions, but it's an AI that's
Yeah.
answering the questions inside the
Yeah.
WhatsApp group. Never thought to just add neighborhoods and add everybody into a WhatsApp group. That is absolutely brilliant, Chirag.
Yeah.
Woo,
Thank you.
cool.
Yeah, it just, worked out. I didn't even think of starting. Like it was just like 10 people. It's like, hey, it's better to just put it in a group rather than talking to 10 different folks. And
Yep.
I got, a few thousand people in there.
That is amazing. Oh, so super valuable. What else are you doing to keep in touch with your past customer database?
So we have I go to my arrive, like look at my past clients, reach out like some of the lenders we have. We do out send out home anniversary emails,
Okay,
birthday
perfect.
emails, stuff like that. Just kind of keep them engaged. Like, hey, hope you settled. It's been a year. Can't believe it's been a year since you moved in. We closed your house. Hope you're enjoying it. That's it.
That's
Then
amazing.
let them kind of soak in and come back, say, yeah, I love it, or yeah, we're kind of thinking about changing to a different school district, so I was about to call you, and then the conversation starts. Or like, hey, I got a 1 year buy down last year, or when I got the buy down, I kind of didn't think, but now I want to go to a fixed loan, or I was on an arm, or I'm thinking of going from a 30 to a 15. It's just, like something obviously comes up, and you kind of engage. If nothing, just fine. It's just a 2 minute call, or chat, like doesn't hurt. You're
Yep.
just strengthening that relationship with the client, right?
Yep. 100%. And so is it all past customer referrals? Are you doing realtor referrals, referrals from referral partners at all?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So realtor referrals is how I like originally started.
Okay.
And I still continue with that. It's that's always there. So I meet with realtors, and the one thing I made from the first appointment, I just didn't feel like I can just ask like, hey, would you please send me referrals, right? So I was just being like, very nice, and it's like, hey, how's business? How's market? What do you think? Like people come reach to me for pre-approvals. Sorry. So
Word.
be like, hey, people come to me for pre-approvals, and they always ask these questions like, is this a good time to buy? So I want to get your take on it, right? Like get information, share, and then they
Mhm.
start asking like, hey, what are your rates? Like I typically work with this loan officer. I hope they're great, but this is my rate. I'm not here to ask, and I'll just flat out say, I'm not here to ask any references. I just wanted to build that, because I know we closed one loan because the borrower himself came to me and I closed a loan. So I'll reach out to people who I've closed a loan with, who have already proved, like, hey, appraisals ordered, loan CTC, closing scheduled here, here's a copy of the final alta. Like, let me know if you have any questions, and then they come back last minute. This one time they're like, I cannot, the seller's agent actually called me. This is the shortest closing I've done in 8 days, because that's, legally you can do it. The seller's agent called me and said, hey, is there a place I can write a review for you? I've never, ever in my 30 years history seen a loan close in 8 days. So
Wow.
they actually went on my Zillow and it's like, yeah, you can put me a review there, but that's so just engaging with realtors and learning their pain points, right? So my background was in healthcare administration,
Oh, cool.
so it was sort of like marketing in home healthcare industry. That's kind of where I had in my previous life. That's what I did. I
Okay.
have a degree in physical therapy, by the way. So that's, I went to school for that, did practice for about 15 years, and then one fine day I was like, I used to live in Michigan, and
Okay.
I'm I'm
You're
tired of
fine.
this cold weather. I want to move. I want to do something different. So that's, I packed up, sold my house, and moved here. 2 months later, I was like, let me see what I want to do. I had a real estate license, didn't really uh, do a lot in Michigan. Came here, worked with my broker that I worked with in the past. In Michigan, is like, hey, are you looking to expand? I'm ready to join in. I just took my test, I passed, and this is what I want to do. So that's how I
Wow.
kind of started. So again, going back, so we were told, right, like when we go to, see doctors or like these assisted livings or anybody, right, like just go and ask like, hey, what are your pain points? Like if there was one thing, I'm not here to ask for in business, but let's say talk to realtors, like if there was one thing you could ask different from your current loan officer, what would it be? Right. And
Mm,
now I know, right? They're like, oh gosh, if only if they would tell me what's going on the loan. Like they give good rates, they close on time, but I'm just completely in the dark. Like I never know what's going to happen or if the loan is closing. I mean, thankfully they close all the loans, but I just don't get any communications from them. Or
yep.
the borrower calls me like several times, like, they're not responsive, or, they ask too many documents, whatever, right? Their closing gets
Mhm.
delayed, their rates are high. So now I know that's the only thing I got to work on, right? I mean, or focus on, or, and then, people are like, hey, I can refer you clients, but like, I already have a good setting, right? Like I refer to my loan officer, my clients are happy, then why should I change? I'm like, don't change. If at all, whenever you get a client who is like the toughest, like nobody else can close the loan, give me your toughest client. That's who I want
Right.
to work with, so I can prove you. And then if you feel like you can send me more clients. So I got this one realtor, he sends me all his business. Like he had like one closing, I don't even remember how we got through the, he just googled or whatever, and he's like, Chirag, I'm a realtor, I got this client, two banks declined, are you really up for taking it? I gotta tell the sellers like whether we should extend the contract or just call it a day. I'm like, let me look at it. 2 hours later, I called the client, like got all the documents, call him back. It's like, look, I know it's gonna be a tough one, but I did all my math. I manually calculated all his income, self-employment, rental income, Schedule E, like the whole shebang. And it's like we will be at a 48% DTI. If I can get this sort of letter from the borrower's employer, yes, I can make a case, include his bonus, and we can close this, because that's what the other lender did not do, right? They didn't go that far
Wow.
to look into it. And it's like, if you say so, and I told the boards, like, you got to get me this letter, because I'm
Right.
putting the word behind it, and that letter is going to decide whether we close or not. It's like, I'll get you whatever you need. I'll reach out to my HR. We finally close in like 2.5 weeks, and the guy's like 4 years now. He's never even called any of the loan officers. Like, Chirag, just, you know,
Wow.
here's a client, send it in. So it's just overall like, uh, I learn, and then people that came to work with us, right, like with me, they're like, Chirag, I'm not getting business. Like, I'm like, you gotta start from the toughest thing. And I know it's hard, like when you're learning yourself, like you can't, really clear those tough loans. But tell me, right, I'm here to help you, and how can we tackle the tougher loans? Because those people who are influential, who are, rate sensitive, who got like 10 properties, guess what, you have more chances of getting referrals. He might come to you because he might buy five more, right? So
Yeah.
rather than a first time home buyer who's barely got 5% down, but he's got a W2, easy peasy vanilla loan, like, yeah, sure, anybody can do it, right? When you crack those tough cookies, that's when people will notice what, how good of a job you did. And that's how you can like exponentially grow. Yes, you're going to spend 3 times the time you'd spend on a normal loan, but I mean, it's worth it.
That's right. Because of all the loans that come in the future,
Yeah,
especially, yeah. And those people are normally well networked too. When you get
yeah,
self-employed borrowers
yeah,
and you get those sorts of things, there's more referrals that come from those types of
yeah.
relationships. So thank you for being so generous with your time. If I could ask one last final question, you have done such a good job on your online reviews and your branding. Have you started to get inbound calls and leads from AI yet?
We have like, so the in not inbound, sorry.
Not inbound? So
Mm.
ChatGPT hasn't sent you any referrals yet.
No, I kind of searched myself on ChatGPT like a little bit ago, and I was like, okay, let me see, so it's got a nice profile. It kind of talks about like all my, healthcare backgrounds, like how I started and what, all that. So, because kind of picks up, from all different, websites. I have not got, we have, this, the UWM that I personally, work with, they have, the, what is it, broker, some sort of, so I've got a few from there.
Okay.
findamortgagebroker.org. So like if
Yeah.
people just, because they advertise, but not from the AI models yet. So
Awesome.
hopefully,
Well, so I'm gonna have my team reach out to you, and we're gonna give you a quick little touch up as a thank you for being
sure,
on the show. And
absolutely.
and because with a brand as good as yours, you deserve to be having that authority within those AI
I
agents.
agree, and that's the next thing. And the other thing I'll add, the thing you mentioned about the WhatsApp, is it called WhatsApp chatbot, right? I did
Yeah.
look into it. I work with a lot of clients in IT, so every time I feel like, hey, this guy is like a VP here in, so I'll call and say, hey, I'm trying to grow my business in this, area, like in WhatsApp, and if I can, automize that, like, do you know any, like, I'm constantly trying to see if I can get someone who can kind of guide me. So if you have any
Oh yeah.
information, I'd love to kind of incorporate that, just because that's just the next thing, right? Like, your AI is not going to take your job, but if you don't use AI, then yeah, you will not be existing, right? So you just got to
100%.
be a step ahead, and be able to adapt, right? That's the big thing these days.
Absolutely, it is. Well, yeah, let's set up another call because half an
Yeah.
hour, I'll show you how to set the whole thing up and away we go. So, well, sure. Thank you so much for being on the show. This was a phenomenal episode.
I
Thank you for
appreciate it so much. Thanks for
yeah.
having me.
Where do people go to get information about you? How can somebody reach out to you?
So it's my cell phone number, 586-536-5360. Easy to remember. And it's Chirag, Chirag at Vema Mortgage, Vema mortgage.com.
Amazing. And we'll have all that in the show notes for everybody as well. So, thank you for being on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you
To
very much.
all It's my pleasure to all of our listeners. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure that you head on over to AI101book.com. Get your copy of the brand new book, and we'll see you on the inside of the membership area with your book purchase. That's AI101.com. All right, cool. Chirag, thanks for being on the show.
Sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.